Matt Nagy, Chicago Bears head coach, back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, sir?
Rich, how you doing?
I'm better for talking to you. I know you've been talking to a lot of people today across the radio dials and television dials everywhere. What's the most obvious question that you got asked today, Coach?
Well, we're getting these questions on how we're handling these Zoom calls, and then I'm getting questions on which I'm supposing same from you in regards to the Foles Trubisky competition.
Is there something going on there? Is there something up with that?
I just know this much. I know this. I told you last year that we were going to get a special play-in named after you, and I never got to that point. But we got to be a little better this year, a lot better actually. And so we got to keep that thing. That's got to happen this year.
See, you're trying to throw me off the scent by catering to my ego, Coach. And I will let you know. I appreciate that. Number one. Number two, as you know, I try to make life better for you. Always. I try to make life better for you. I was concerned that you, like a fellow follically challenged man, keep going out there with a visor on cold days. Genuinely concerned for you. Concerned about the sunscreen use that you would use. You don't wear a hat. You wear a visor. Have you thought twice about that, Coach?
I thought twice for about 2 seconds, and I said, no, I'm sticking to it, man. I'm going to stick with that visor, and I'm not changing.
You are who you are. You know, you only know.
I am who I am. That's right.
You only know one speed. Okay, so you call it a competition. I heard you use that word. What is how does a competition look to you?
Well,
walk me through how a competition.
Zero competition going on right now over these meetings, but when we get going, whenever that is, I think what's been really good is the fact of our coaches talking through how we're going to go about with reps, creating, ways to evaluate both these guys. They've been really good in the discussions that we're having, just learning the things that we're keeping in our offense, the things that we're not keeping. And, obviously Nick has a history with us in Philadelphia as a rookie, and then in Kansas City as a backup there to Alex Smith, and then obviously other coaches too that are on our staff. But Coach Flip's done a really good job, Coach Laser, of really keeping things going in that room that we have. And when we get out to training camp, whenever that is, or these OTAs, they'll be rocking and rolling.
So is the competition right now as to who's quickest to start their audio with video on the Zoom? Is that part of the competition right now between them?
Whoever hits the space bar faster
there you go.
To get off of mute and talk, that's who wins.
You know what? It's got to start somewhere.
Yep.
But let me ask you the question I hear all the time, and I wonder what your answer is to it. And it's the simple question of what happened to Mitchell Trubisky last year. And I know that is rife with a ton of negativity, but we're talking about a guy who was a playoff quarterback the year before, and you were coach of the year, and then last year looked nothing like the year before. And I wonder what your answer and assessment is of the question I get from fans all the time on this subject.
Sure. Well, number one, again, in these situations, when you go from winning the division in 2018 at 12-4, and then you go to 8-8, and you lose 4 games in last year, you lose 4 games in a row, and the offense is really struggling, and things aren't going the way you want them to go. One thing that we all understand in the sports world, especially in the NFL, is that there's only one quarterback, and so that comes with the territory. That we all understand that when you win, you're going to get a lot of praise that you probably shouldn't get, and when you lose, it's the same way. So that said, we all understand that. I understand that as a head coach. We understand that as a team. We know offensively there's a lot of the magnifying glass is on us because we didn't score enough points. That's what it comes down to, is you have to score touchdowns. You got to score points. You got to be efficient in the red zone. You need to win. That's how quarterbacks are evaluated. And Mitch in the last 2 years, he's 19-10 as a starter, and so the quote unquote expectations, the standards that we have, we didn't reach them last year. But there's more reasons than just the quarterback. Now, where Mitch can get better, and he knows this, and that's why I can say it, is we talk about the whole, next play mentality, just being able to continue to, whenever if there's a bad play that happens, have the next play be a good play. If it's a good play that happens, let's have the next play be a better play. And so he's really, there's times in the last this past year where he showed that, and so he's going to keep growing. Now, that said, obviously we brought in Nick, and Nick has been at the top. He's been at the bottom of the valley, and so now you have what we're declaring as a healthy QB competition, and these guys are very, very competitive. And it's going to be interesting to see, how it ends up going. But I really think that, for going back to your question with Mitch, that he's going to welcome this challenge, and that he knows, too, it's only in fairness that we could have been better in a lot of different areas, including myself, last year as an offense.
So, and look, also in terms of human beings, who's going to make the what could be an awkward situation not so much in that room. You couldn't have a better human being than Nick Foles. All that said, Coach Matt Nagy here on the Rich Eisen Show, if the quarterback and Trubisky's issue was, among other things, if a team game, understood, that he had issues with adversity happening and being able to turn the page, how will he handle another person being brought in for his job?
Yeah, well, that'll be the big question, and I think all he can do, and the discussions that we've had, is you can only control your opportunity that you have right now. Control you can control, and so he's gotten to this point through a lot of hard work, and now, I mean, the way that he has been. In these meetings that we've had, discussions that we've had, I absolutely love his attitude. I don't think he could have handled the situation any better. I mean, you look at a guy that in our situation where we went ahead and made a trade for Nick, and then we're now at a point where, as any person, that when that happens, naturally you're just gonna feel like, okay, how do I make this better? And for probably a day or two, he was that way. And after that, now, ever since, he's been really, really good, and I appreciate that about him. Now, we're gonna go out there, and whenever it is next in OTAs or training camp, go out there and compete. And it's gonna be so good for the Chicago Bears that we have two really good people, like you said, with Nick and with Mitch, in a small room, trying to make the Bears the best team we can be offensively and as leaders. And they're both going to help each other out. And in the end, we hope it helps us out.
I have about 3 minutes left for you before my heart out, as they say in the television and radio business. Coach Matt Nagy of the Bears. The vote on the 4th and 15 play, that would be an option for you as opposed to an onside kick. Do you like that? Would you vote for it? Yay?
Again, I know I'm on the line with it, but I really, whatever they say, I'm cool with. I think that what you have to do is, if it is 4th and 15, you got to start having some plays that are going to give you the best opportunity possible. Because again, the onside kick is such an intriguing. If you look at us, go back last year, we actually had some good success with onside kicks. So I'm good either way. I love opportunities at 4th and 15, but shoot, our Coach Tabor's done a great job with our special teams in the last couple of years, so I'm good with that too.
And what about just doing the math and maybe attempting it to steal a possession? You're up. Would you do something like that?
You could. I mean, it's I don't know. I have to study it more. I know it's definitely unique, and I like that part about it. But there's going to be some questions that they'll bring out to us and tell us, the way things that you can do and things that you can't do. And I'm really excited to see what they say.
All right, Coach, really appreciate the time. Thanks for joining. You can't see, but I do have the visor that you sent. I'm wearing it right now.
I love it.
And I'm pleased to say, even though I think the show's been doing real well since you sent it to me, my head size is the same. It hasn't gotten any bigger. It still fits. So it works.
That's very important. But, I appreciate your support, and you do a heck of a job with all this stuff. I hope you and your family are staying
Thank you.
healthy and safe and everything, and appreciate it.
I appreciate it, but again, the visor just only accentuates the follically challenged part of the lid. I just need to channel my inner Matt Nagy and just roll with it.
Hey, just be you, man. Be you.
Okay, be you. I see that on your play sheet all the time. Still out there, Coach. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
All right, Rich. Take care. See you.
You got it. That's Matt Nagy. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.